Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2021 love reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is to look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll actually pull some oracle cards with some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's energy. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, excuse me, we have Desire. So this is actually the equivalent of the Chariot in traditional tarot, which is Cancer energy. And obviously, just be saying that you actually saw a lot of room for growth within this connection. You might have felt at home with this connection as well, but I feel like for some of you, there might have actually been some physical distance between the two of you. You might have even met this person while you were traveling. But yeah, it looks like there might have been physical distance, but definitely you felt the emotional connection for sure and felt the desire to actually build with this person. Alright, past energy on their side, we have the Knight of Wands. So this is Sagittarius energy here. And this could be another indicator that you guys might have met while traveling, or at the very least that there is physical distance between the two of you. But you might have felt like, as far as feelings go, you might have felt like yours were more of the permanent variety, whereas you might have felt like they were a bit more in and out with their feelings, so you weren't necessarily sure how to take their approach toward you. Alright. Present energy on your side, we have a few cards. We have the Five of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. Prince of Arrows, Gemini energy. And Seven of Cups, more Scorpio energy. So 2 cards representing your energy here. But not necessarily some of the better cards, right? So with the Five of Cups here, it could just be saying that you might have some disappointments. Possibly if there is a separation between the two of you, there could be disappointment around that. There could be a desire to express your feelings as well with the the Prince of Arrows, or Knight of Swords, as it would be in most decks. Especially given that we do see Cupid on the card, so it could just be that desire to express your feelings, but at the same time, getting the feeling that you might still hold back from doing so, or you might feel like whatever you express doesn't come out the way that you hoped it would. And I will say you guys are going to have that Venus retrograde that we're going to have in December in your 3rd house communication. So there could certainly be the desire to communicate when it comes to love quite a bit, but there is that potential for confusion around it as well. So it makes sense to see this come up in that regard. And again, if we look at that figure in the card next to the feminine energy there, it doesn't look like they're physically in the room, right? So this could be another indicator that there is still that physical distance between the two of you, and for some that could even be what that communication is about, possibly suggesting that the two of you get back together. Alright. Present energy on their side, we have the Queen of Wands. So this is Aries energy here, and also it shows a little bit of growth, right? Going up from the Knight level to the Queen level. So it could just be saying that they've grown a bit within the connection. It could also just be saying that their feelings may have grown, and or their expression around those feelings might have grown as well. So they might come across a bit more straightforward than you would if you guys were to communicate around your feelings in the present. At least that's the impression that I'm getting there. Let me see if anything else comes to mind with this. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Alright, and future energy on your side, we have Tradition, which is the equivalent to the Hierophant in traditional tarot. That's Taurus energy. Awakening, this is the equivalent of the Sun. And we have Queen of Arrows, which is Libra energy. So, for some of you, I feel like this is saying that you actually, in the future, at the very least, would have a desire to turn this into a more formal, traditional type of commitment. With the awakening, could just be saying that might come to you as a realization. We see like the angelic figure in the artwork there, and it looks like he's reaching toward her. So it could just be one of those things where you might get a lot of signs and synchronicities that point you toward realizing that, hey, maybe this is the person that I could actually see myself with in the long term. But at the same time, with that Queen of Arrows energy, I'm still getting the feeling similar to what I got in the present too, where that might be how you're feeling, but I suppose, I don't know if you're necessarily going to be expressing that outwardly, right? Because we see her body language, she's holding that arrow, which could represent communication, and it is pointed in their direction. But at the same time, her body language kind of leaning, and she's looking in that direction. So I'm not sure I see you guys actually outwardly expressing that that is what you're feeling, even in the future. So it could just be one of those things where you come to the realization, especially given that for you guys, Libra energy is your 12th house. So that can be things that you process on more of an inner level as opposed to bringing it outward in your expression. So that's kind of what I'm feeling with that. All right. Future energy on their side, we have the King of Swords, Aquarius energy, and the Six of Pentacles, Taurus energy. So with this Aquarius energy, I feel like this could be saying that they might actually detach from the connection for a while. But with that Six of Pentacles, I feel like this says that they will come back in to restore the balance at some point. So looks like they will make an effort with you. To be fair, it looks like as far as feelings go, we definitely see some growth to their feelings, but when it comes to expressing them, it almost feels like you guys might have the deeper feelings in the connection, at least from what I'm seeing on the surface. And this person might be better at expressing their feelings. So just one of those things. And for some of you, this can actually take a while with this Aquarius energy here. It makes me think of the fact that really with the Venus retrograde cycle, it's going to start in December, but really for it to clear its shadow and everything, we're basically going to be in Aquarius season before that cycle is completely done. So it could just take a while for it to resolve itself. But yeah, it looks like there will be the desire to restore balance within the connection when it's all said and done. All right. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Ace of Cups. So yeah, I view this almost like that awakening energy that we saw in the future, which is to say, I feel like this is you coming to that realization that, hey, actually maybe this is something that I do see the potential for as more of a long-term commitment. And interestingly enough, beneath that, we also have the Ace of Staves. So could just be saying that eventually you guys might actually be called to take action on the situation. But I mean, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like the communication isn't necessarily going to be flowing from you guys too easily this month. All right, and the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Five of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here, and in a lot of decks, this can point to a bit of a combative, argumentative energy. I'm not necessarily picking up on that in this particular reading for two reasons. For one, this particular deck points to this energy pointing to more of like a needing to take a risk, actually, as opposed to actual conflict. And not only that, but I would feel like, if anything, this would point to them potentially feeling a bit guarded, if anything. So there's not like malicious intent there, but let's say, for example, if they do come toward you, right, and they're more open and expressive with their feelings, and you're kind of just confused around your communication at the very least. I mean, you might be sure of the feelings, but for whatever reason, the actual communication around those feelings might not come out the way you'd hoped. So that might put their guard up, like, okay, I don't know if Scorpio's into me or not. You know what I mean? So it could be one of those things where they might get mixed signals, because, I mean, that Seven of Cups energy we see at the bottom of this can point to confusion. And that could be why they might detach for a little bit, but it looks like they might not be too long-term of a thing. It seems like I said, for some of you, Aquarius season might seem like a really long way away, but like I said, it could just be pointing to once that Venus retrograde cycle is fully clear, then you guys might be able to get on the right path. So hope that resonates with you guys. And next we'll see what we get from the Oracle cards. So first we'll see what we get from the Aqua Moonlight deck. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and what I'm going to be looking for here is unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And, already got one on your side. All right, so I was going to say, in worst case, if I didn't get any cards, I would just put the deck down and pull one, but already got one on your side, and then we'll see if we get any from them to you. All right, and that doesn't want to go back in the deck, so let's see what we got. On your side, we have sadness. There we go. It says, I feel like I've lost you and I'm not coping well with it. So that could definitely be what the Five of Cups energy is pointing to, at the very least, that we see in the present. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it seemed more like, if anything, there's this physical distance between the two of you, and maybe that was the issue. But if you feel like you don't necessarily have the feeling that they still feel a certain way about you, like I said, if anything, it does look like the feelings have grown from the past to the present at the very least. So I don't necessarily feel like it's a lost cause. Obviously, it looks like communication is a bit of an issue, but it looks like it can be overcome fairly easily. So let's see what we got on their side. All right, we have codependency. There we go. It says, I need you. So interesting. I mean, I didn't pick up on the codependent energy on their side at all, quite frankly. But I mean, we do see the passion there. And I mean, sometimes that can manifest in weird ways too, right? Where people might come forward abruptly, but then they might leave just as quickly if they feel like they're rejected or something along those lines. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, at the very least, this does look like there is mutual attraction. Maybe not coming out in the healthiest ways right now, but definitely looks like there's some potential to get back on track there at least. All right, and lastly, we will pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here I'm just looking for one card with general advice to wrap the reading up with. Okay, got one there. Doesn't want to go back in the deck, so let's see what we got. All right, we have peace. There's the artwork, and the number is 23. So let's see what we got. So yeah, I mean, even before we read that message, I have the feeling that I'm getting that it doesn't seem like there's hard feelings within the connection, but definitely some kind of miscommunication at the very least. All right. It says, freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. The Oracle's message. It doesn't get any better than this. A quiet mind, a heart fulfilled, freedom from want, and a soul satisfaction. The way to peace is through radical acceptance. Everything in your world is exactly as it should be. Harmony is beautiful. Enjoy it. So I will say that energy there that we just read makes me feel like that might be more in the future for you guys with that awakening that we see. But hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says, when two people are on true alignment with one another, they have an innate harmony between them. They are as two perfectly tuned instruments playing together. Sometimes it's impossible to tell who is who. Peace is yours, and it is to be savored. All right, another pretty positive message there. Now, I will say I don't feel like you guys are there yet. Like I said, it does seem like it would be easier to get there than it might appear on the surface, though. So hopefully you guys are able to communicate soon and get back on track. And hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.